Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday at noon, and where are you? I'm gonna kind of let people start to trickle in. Welcome, everybody. Happy Tuesday. So, as people are starting to trickle in, I'm going to give it a few minutes before we actually get started. If there is anybody who has any questions, who hasn't meditated before, or has anything that they want to ask about meditating itself, go ahead and put it in the comments. And I'm just going to give it a few minutes till we get started here. I'm also going to put my Venmo here. So there is no fee to do this. I do just ask for any donations if you guys have a little bit to spare. So that's there for everybody in case you're able to. It would be much appreciated. All right, so people are slowly coming in. I'm just gonna get started with a little bit of Palo Santo. So I like to do this before I do any kind of ritual or meditation or any other kind of practice like that, just to kind of clean things up a little bit. So I do me and then I do you. And Palo Santo is really great for clearing energy, stuffy energy. It doesn't always have to be bad. It could just be stuffy or old, stagnant energy. And the cool thing about Palo Santo is it doesn't remove positive energy that might actually be in the space, whereas something stronger like sage just takes it all away. Palo Santo is a little bit more gentle, and it allows you to just kind of clear the stuff that you don't want around. All right, so I'm gonna let her burn out. And okay, so welcome everybody to Tuesdays with Rose Nose. We're gonna get started here in a few minutes. And for those of you who are new tuning in, or maybe you haven't meditated before, feel free to ask me any questions before we get started. And just to kind of let you know the format, basically what we do is we do a breath exercise to kind of get us prepared to sit. And then once we're kind of in a more comfortable state in our bodies, then we can reach a meditative state. And then after that, we will close it off with another breath technique to kind of get us ready for the rest of our day. So the initial breath technique is going to be more calming, more relaxing. Then the one that we do afterwards is going to be a little bit more energizing so that you can just pop right back into whatever you were doing, and hopefully do it with more clarity and a more level-headed mind. So again, before we begin, quick questions if anybody has any, just to mention a few things. So I say this every time before we get started. If you are new to meditating, just keep doing it. You're going to notice that with meditation, you're going to kind of come in and out of it. It's going to ebb and flow. So that is totally to be expected. And I'm going to show you a way to be able to kind of bring yourself back, because what happens is we get distracted by a noise or by a thought or an emotion that comes up, and we can easily get ourselves carried away with these things. And once we've been carried away, it's kind of difficult to wrangle yourself back, but there are simple techniques in order to bring yourself back so that you can continue the meditation. And what I like to do and what I suggest is that there are many different ways to meditate. There's many different techniques. What I like to do is pretty simple. All it requires is willingness to sit, courage to sit, and the ability to breathe and participate, really. So, hi everybody. Hi Alex. Hi David. So again, yes, all it requires is just your willingness to sit. And if you have a mantra that you use for meditations, you're welcome to use that. But if you would humor me and just participate in the breathing part of it first, and then once we go into the meditation, if you want to use your mantra, that's totally cool too. So whatever really works for you. The goal is to just get you in a habit of sitting and taking at the very least 5 minutes out of your day where you're by yourself in this quiet space inside. And right now we're being challenged because we can't go outside. So it's a great time to go within. So you can't go out, so you have to go within. I saw that in like some meme and I really love that. But so yes, so getting into the habit of just sitting, even if it's for 5 minutes. And then once you have gotten into a somewhat of a routine, it'll become a lot easier to incorporate that into your day, and then continue to increase the time that you meditate for. A lot of methodologies require they're very strict about how you meditate. It has to be in the morning, it has to be one more time at night, so twice a day. You have to do it on an empty stomach, no caffeine, all sorts of things. So again, if you subscribe to a specific type of meditation, all is good. I'm just showing you something that's a little bit more simple, that doesn't require any of that. My goal is just to get you to sit, and just to get in the routine of meditating. All right, so it's about 12:07. We're going to go ahead and get started. Let me just make sure I look cute for y'all. Just kidding. So for those of you who are new to the Tuesday meditations, again, basically we start out by just doing some simple breath techniques, and then we sit comfortably and we meditate, and then we do another breath technique to kind of energize us, to get us ready for our day. So before we get started, you just want to make sure that you're seated in a comfortable position. So if you're laying down, I would recommend that you actually sit up, and I'm seated on the floor with a cushion, but you could be in a chair or sat up in your bed, wherever you are. As long as you're seated comfortably and so that your spine is nice and long, we'll be able to accomplish what it is that we need to do today. So before we get started, grab one side of your butt cheeks and then the other side so that you're seated onto the bony part of your bum. And I like to kind of wiggle it out a little bit so that I find that seat. And then once you've found your seat, make sure that your spine is nice and tall. And I like to visualize a long line that goes from the crown of my head all the way through my body into my tailbone. And I like to visualize this line being stretched up and also pulled downward at the same time, creating a nice taut tension. So lifting up through the crown of the head and then dropping down through the tailbone. So for some people who are very visual, you could imagine that this line goes all the way up towards the sky, as far as you can imagine in the sky, and then all the way down, as far as you can imagine, all the way down towards the core of the earth. So creating this nice taut tension. Once your spine is long, just take a moment and notice your shoulders. In some cases, we're seated like this. Sitting is not very comfortable for us. So what I'd like for you to do is just become aware of the shoulders and let them slowly drip away from the ears. So the shoulders are nicely relaxed. And now become aware of your arms, and you can kind of wiggle around a little bit until you find your comfortable place. Draw your elbows towards you. And once you do this, you're going to notice that your hands naturally fall on your thighs, either palms up or down. So in the yoga tradition, we typically say that if your hands are facing downwards, that's because you're feeling good today and you feel grounded. You're not asking for anything, you're just good where you are. For those of us who naturally find ourselves with our palms open, you're willing to receive, you're willing to accept the knowledge, you're willing to accept the energy, whatever the case is. So whichever is more natural to you. And I'm seated in a cross-legged position because that's comfortable for me. If that's not comfortable for you, do whatever you need to do in order to stay comfortable. If you're on a chair, I would just recommend that the bottoms of your feet are flat on the floor so that your knees are slightly separated, maybe to the width of the chair, and that your feet are flat on the floor. So that almost acts like your foundation, okay? And you're going to notice that you're going to kind of move around during the meditation. This is totally normal. You don't have to be seated in like lotus pose for an extended period of time to achieve meditation. Let's throw all those preconceived notions out the door. I just want you to be able to sit, okay? So if you need to adjust halfway through, do it and just come right back in, okay? So no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Don't even question it. Just do what you need to do and then get back to the meditation. All right, so we're seated nice and tall. Crown of the head reaching nice and tall towards the heavens, towards the sky, towards the planets, and your tailbone is anchoring you through the center of the earth. Shoulders are nice and soft, elbows closely towards you, palms up or down. And now just take a moment to notice your chin positioning. For some of us, we naturally slouch, so the chin is drawing downwards. For some of us, we like to sit, we think that by sitting tall, that means actually lifting the head up and, you know, kind of doing this. What I would recommend is to maybe find kind of a halfway point between being pointed all the way down and all the way up, so that your chin remains parallel to the floor. That way you won't fall asleep and you'll be able to maintain a nice long spine. Okay. So now that we've found our seated position, and if you want, if you're comfortable with this, go ahead and close the eyes. And each week we've been graduating and increasing the time that we've been meditating for, as well as the difficulty of the breath techniques. So for those of you who haven't done this before with us, I will guide you through a breath meditation before we begin, and then we'll use another breath technique to energize us to get ready for the day. And I'd also like to do a mantra that was given to me by my teacher's teacher in order to ground us and to open us up. It is a meditation asking for the blessing of Ganesha. And here we go. Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yogini Rashi Rupanim Devim Mantra Maim Naumi Matrika Pita Rupanim Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yogini Rashi Rupanim Devim Mantra Maim Naumi Matrika Pita Rupanim Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yogini Rashi Rupanim Devim Mantra Maim Naumi Matrika Pita Rupanim. Okay, everybody. So if you haven't yet, please close your eyes. Draw your elbows towards you, palms up or down, whichever feels more natural to you. Take a moment to make sure that the spine is nice and tall, reaching up through the crown of the head, anchoring you through the tailbone. Chin remains parallel to the floor. And in your mind's eye, become aware of the space in which you're seated, noticing the four corners of the space and the walls that attach to it. Become aware of your positioning within the space. And take a moment to notice the things around you, your cup of water, your phone, your computer, your desk, your rugs. Now once again, bring your attention to the four corners and the walls that attach to it. And in the mind's eye, just casually map your outside. In some cases, you'll have some trees, other buildings. If you're lucky, maybe a lake or a beach. Once you've situated yourself in space, bring yourself back to your room. Casually noticing yourself within the space. And with loving eyes, just observe. Looking upon yourself, thanking yourself for having the wisdom and the courage to be here today. Now let's bring ourselves to the sound of our breath. And just notice the rise and fall of the breath. Your natural state of breath, so without trying to change it or manipulate it in any which way, just casually notice the inhale and the exhale, the length, the depth. Notice if your inhale is longer or deeper than the exhale or vice versa. And again, without judging, just observe. And once you've become acquainted with your breath, let's begin to deepen the breath, make it a little bit longer. So on your next inhale, let it be a couple counts longer. And let your next exhale be a couple beats longer as well. So maybe inhaling 5 counts. Exhaling 5 counts. Inhaling for 5. And exhaling for 5. And while you do this, just observe if you're breathing through your nose or through your mouth. Again, no judgments. Don't try to change anything. Just breathe as is natural to you. Just making it a couple counts longer and deeper. Let's do about 3 more of those. Just take a moment and scan the body using the mind's eye. Notice if there's any places of tension, of holding, perhaps even pain. Become aware of these spaces. Welcome it, greet it. And when you breathe, breathe directly into this space. And with each inhale, you're inviting energy into this space. And with each exhale, you're asking for the tension, the holding, and the pain to be released. So just take a minute to do this. Once your body feels a bit lighter, bring your attention back to the sound of the breath. And for those of you who were not here last week, we practice alternate nostril breathing. So at this time, you're welcome to open your eyes so I can show you how we do that. For those of you who were here last week and remember the mudra, you can remain with your eyes closed and prepare for the breath. So for those of you who weren't here last week, we're going to do a hand gesture, a mudra. So this is I love you in sign language. This is the mudra that we're using. Okay, so it's similar to I love you, except we have our ring finger up. So the thumb, ring finger, and pinky stay up. Index and middle fingers stay down. And once you have this mudra, you're going to bring it to your face. And basically what we're going to do is we're just going to alternate between both sides. So we're using either your ring finger or your thumb to close one side and go back and forth. Okay? Once you have the mudra, place it back onto your thighs. Once again, closing the eyes. Come back to the sound of your breath. And now please bring your hand up towards your face. And if you notice that your shoulder is feeling tense, allow it to relax away from the ear. Draw your elbow, hug your elbow in close towards you. And now, close your left nostril. Inhale through your right. Close the right, exhale out through the left. Inhale through the left, close the left nostril, exhale out through the right. Inhale through the right, close the right, exhale out through the left. So go ahead and continue to do a few of these on your own. And again, here's the mudra. So while practicing the alternate nostril breath, I like to visualize an infinity symbol. So once we inhale through one side, I like to visualize the breath traveling around the third eye, exhaling out through the opposite side, and then creating a loop under the heart. So inhaling, looping around the third eye, exhaling out the opposite side, looping under the heart, and starting over again. Okay? Let's just do about 3 more of these together. Another wonderful thing about the alternate nostril breath is that it brings a sense of harmony to the right and the left sides of the body, the right and the left sides of the brain, so the different hemispheres. In the yoga tradition, the right side of the body is more masculine, it's solar energy, it's sun energy. The left side is considered to be more feminine, moon, lunar energy. So when we're crisscrossing the breath, we're bringing everything into balance. And continuing with the alternate nostril breath, let's let our exhale be a couple beats longer than the inhale. Just going to do about 5 of these. So inhale as you normally would. Close the nostril. Exhale twice as long through the opposite side. And inhale. Close that nostril, exhaling twice as long. Inhale. Close the nostril, exhale twice as long. Let's just do about 3 more of these. Also, while you're doing this, you may notice that one side is blocked. This is okay. It's normal. At any given time of the day, one side of your body may be more dominant than the other. So again, don't judge it, just observe it. And then once you're done with the alternate nostril breath, relax your hand back towards the thigh, palms up or down. I'm going to set our timer. And now just take a moment to notice the body. Notice the state of the breath. And begin to relax the need to do anything at all. If you find yourself being carried away by thoughts, by an emotion, just wrangle your brain and bring it back to the sound of the breath. So as you begin to meditate and go into a state of silence, as you hear, feel, just notice these things as if you were a third-party observer, perhaps even projected on a screen in front of you, like a movie. Just let these emotions, the thoughts, the distractions, wash away. Try your best not to get attached, carried away with the thoughts or emotions, or even distractions or sounds. Every time you find yourself that you do, no judgments, just bring yourself back to the sound of the breath. For those of you who have mantras, you may use your mantra in place of the breath. Otherwise, the breath itself is more than sufficient. yourselves back to the sound of the breath. Wiggling fingers and toes. And in your mind's eye, become aware of the space in which you're seated. Four corners and walls that attach to it, and where you're seated in relation to that space. Become aware of the things around you and the sounds outside of your space. Birds chirping, dogs barking, sound of cars. And now bring yourselves back to your space. And once again, lovingly and adoringly gaze upon yourself as you're seated. Thanking yourselves for having the courage, the wisdom, and the wherewithal to sit here today. Let your next couple breaths be a little bit deeper, a little bit longer. Now we begin to do the alternate nostril breathing. This time we're going to do it without the hand, without the mudra. So using your mind's eye, visualizing the hand at the face, guiding you. Let's begin to inhale deeply through the right side of the nostril, lifting the entire right side of the body, circling around the third eye, exhaling through the left side of the body. Inhale through the left side of the body, left nostril, circle around the third eye, exhale out the right. Inhale through the right, exhale out through the left. Inhale through the left, exhale out through the right. Let's just do 3 more of these on our own. And now let's please let our inhale be twice as long as the exhale. So inhaling deep through one side of the body, one nostril, and exhaling out through the opposite side. Inhaling deeply, twice as long, and exhale out through the opposite side. Oh, goodness. So if you have dogs, you understand. So even in this moment, we still have to keep our calm. So please continue the alternate nostril breath, inhaling and exhaling. please just take a moment to notice the state of the body, the state of the breath, and how it may differ from when you first sat down. Please bring your palms together at your heart and start rubbing the palms to create some heat. And once you have a sufficient amount of heat, bring the palms to the face. Feel the warmth from your hands penetrating deep behind the eye sockets. And when you're ready, gently open the eyes in the palms of your hand and let your hands melt away from the face. Thank you, everybody, for joining in meditation transmission. Each Tuesday we sit and meditate together. And for those of you who are new joining in, we have been increasing the length of the meditations. We've also been increasing the difficulty of the breathing techniques that we use in order to achieve meditation. So if you're interested to see our journey, this is the 5th one that we've done. All the previous meditation transmissions are uploaded at Rose Knows Recommends on YouTube. So you can start at the beginning with the first meditation and then work your way through today's, which I'll have uploaded later. Basically seeing where we've started and now where we are. So again, in the beginning, it was a little bit of a shorter meditation. The difficulty of the breath techniques was much less. And now that we've been together for about 5 weeks, I'm introducing longer, slightly more difficult techniques. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed it. If you have any questions about meditation, please send me a private message. I just want to stress that if you're new to meditating, remember there is no goal, there is no ultimate destination. Truly, it is about the journey. And the more you tell yourself that you can meditate, the easier it will be. So just keep at it, and you can use my videos as a guide. But I encourage you to sit on your own on other days as well, however that looks, whatever shape it takes, as long as you sit for even 5 minutes quietly, then you will have accomplished something. So thank you again for joining in. I will see you guys next week, same time, same bat channel, and I have my Venmo pin down there in the comment section. If you're so inclined to send me a couple bucks, I'd appreciate it. And that's all. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and see you next time.